Good morning FlossTube, it's Liz here, a Stitchy Bug. Thank you so much if you're coming back with me again, and if it's your first time visiting me then welcome. I hope you'll enjoy spending some time with me today. So this is FlossTube number 4. It's been a couple of weeks since my last video. I normally film on a Monday and I had to work last Monday. So Monday's normally my day off, but once a month I have to work on a Monday and I get a Friday off that week instead. So I've just had a lovely long weekend, which has been really nice. I've got a few bits done around the house. So yeah, I've got hopefully a few bits to show you. Although it's been a couple of weeks since my last video, I haven't done loads and loads of stitching, but I do have some bits to show you. And I feel like there's quite a lot I want to talk to you about today. So grab yourself a nice drink, something yummy to snack on if that's your, that's what floats your boat, and let's just enjoy spending a little bit of time together. So, progress. What have I actually been up to? I've only been stitching on a couple of pieces over the last couple of weeks because I really wanted to try and make some progress on the ones that I'm looking to finish this year. So I have spent quite a lot of time working on quotes to live by. So I finished that bottom square there, and I've just done a little bit of the grey border. I'm mostly leaving the border to the end, but I'm just fitting in a few bits and pieces as and when I feel like it. And I have done a tiny bit more work on that title banner, and then I've just started this square up here. So that's the last square that I need to do. So this is how it's looking all together at the moment. So we're on the home straight. I'm really hoping to get this one finished in the next few weeks. So nearly there. I think the border and the header may be a bit of a mammoth undertaking, but I'm just going to keep chipping away at it and just do little bits as and when. So the header is the kind of thing that I can just sort of, while I'm doing the square that I'm working on, I can fill in a bit of the detail along the bottom of that header, and it's helped me with placement of that top square as well. So we're getting there. Hopefully I'll have a finish on that one before too much longer, which would be lovely. The other piece that I was working on was 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs, and I have a finish, yay! So this is the first one of the 4 pieces that I wanted to get finished this year for sure. If I get other finishes then fantastic, but this is one of the 4 that I definitely wanted to finish. Excuse the very crumpled linen, but here is my finished Blackbird Designs 'Tis the Season. I've made some changes to it. So the obvious ones are that I put the writing, the text in red rather than white, which is, it's charted in white, but I didn't feel the white really stood out enough, so I did it in red. And I missed out, if I can show you, quite a few of these snowflakes along the top. I just thought they looked a bit too regimented, and the rest of the piece for me was quite sort of loose and free, and I didn't really feel all of those snowflakes across the top, so I've missed some of those out. But yay, I have a finish. I've also changed, I don't know if you can see, how I do my signature, and I really like that. So I think that's how I'm going to do my signature from now on. I always did it a very simple kind of block alphabet, like over 2 squares, and it was always quite small, and I just wanted something a little bit, not fancy, but just a bit more. So I like that, and that's, I think, how I'm going to do it now. I know some people do their initials, some people do their full name, and I love that we all do something different, because you know we are all different. That's the joy of being human, isn't it? And actually we're so diverse, and we all like different things, and you know, one of the amazing things about the cross stitching community is that we all have this common interest that kind of ties us together, but we all approach it so differently. So some people like teddy bears, some people like flowers, some people like words, some people, you know, we all like to stitch different things, and I love that there's actually something out there for all of us. So that's what I've been working on excuse me, the last couple of weeks, and I think over the next week I'm going to try and make some more progress on that top square on the Quotes to Live By, and see if I can get that square finished in the next few days, and then just pick something else to work on. So I don't know which whip it will be, and I'll just see what I feel like when we get there. Some people use the Tiny Decisions app, which I think is a brilliant idea, lovely idea, but I know that if I span that wheel, whatever came up would not be the thing that I want to stitch on that day. So I kind of roll with it. Let's just see what I feel like on a given day, and that's what I'm going to pick up and stitch on. I'm very, very blessed this week. I've had some lovely bits of haul. Some of it is things that I'd forgotten I'd ordered. So fabric that I'd ordered a while back, that obviously hand-dyed fabric takes a little while to come through because it's dyed to order. So let me show you what haul I've got. So from xJuDesign, so this is one I did know, I only ordered this a week or so ago. And xJuDesign, her fabric is dyed and ready to go. So this is a 36 count linen, and the colour is Old Blue. So let's just open this one up for you. Somebody said on one of my last videos they love a bit of fabric porn. Well, don't we all? So it's actually, there we go. It's a 19 by 27 piece. That's the fat quarter. That's the size I most often buy, because I think actually if I want to do a big piece, then I've got, generally speaking, plenty of fabric, unless it's a giant piece. And if I want to do smaller pieces, I can just cut a piece off that for what I want to do. So I buy fat quarters unless I'm picking up, say, some remnants, or there's a Facebook sale or something like that, and I might buy a smaller piece then. But generally my kind of go-to size is a fat quarter. And I also got this lovely freebie, like beautiful sort of kind of a dark apricot coral sort of colour. I think it's called Living Coral. So this was a lovely free thread. Anybody else struggle with that? When you've got a word beginning with F and a word beginning with TH next to each other, and to get the and the sounds right, it's just like, yeah, I need to think about it. I'm so sorry, you must think I'm some kind of crazy nutter. But you know, why not, hey? So anyway, that was Old Blue from xJuDesigns on Etsy. I'm sure I've linked her in one of my previous videos, but I will try and remember to put a link in my description box. So hopefully you all know how to find that description box. So on the right hand side of the video, just underneath the video, there's a little tiny arrow. If you click on that arrow, and that will pull up the description box, and you'll be able to see all my links and comments and everything there. If you want to leave a comment, keep scrolling down past all the recommended videos, and then underneath all of those you'll see the comments and where you can leave a comment. And I have such a lovely time reading all your comments and having a bit of a chat with some of you. So please do leave me a comment, leave me a like if you're enjoying what you're seeing. That really means a lot to me. It's a bit of a thing now where, you know, hubby sort of says to me, oh, you got this today and you got that today and you got this many subscribers, and he's so proud of me, bless him. He's been my biggest cheerleader, and I feel really kind of encouraged on my FlossTube journey. Back to haul. I'm getting distracted. So this was a piece from Crafty Kitten, and I think she did this as a re-release, like for a 1 month period on her Facebook page. So this was actually her August 2011 limited edition fabric, and she did it as a kind of a very limited time re-release. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to try and show you the whole, sort of all the lovely colours in this fabric. I love these kind of bluey, purpley tones up here, and that really more intense kind of pink there. Really stunning, this piece of fabric. So that was one that I got from her. And then I don't know if you remember me saying previously about mystery boxes from Crafty Kitten. I can't remember whether I said it on video number 1 or number 2. But Dawn does these gorgeous mystery boxes, and she themes them. And last year the themes were kind of fairy tales. And this was, excuse me while I'm reaching over, this was the last of 2018's mystery boxes that came for me the other day. So in a mystery box you get a cut of fabric of your choice in the colour that she's dyeing for that box. So you get to choose your size and your type of fabric, and then you get a cotton, a silk, usually some beads, and a cryonic or a metallic thread of some kind. So December is themed on the Snow Queen, and she said she wasn't doing like Disney Frozen. It was going to be like going back to the original tale. So this was the fabric, sorry, just checking the label, which is called Ice Crystals. And I don't know if you're going to get all these gorgeous colours. Let me just, yeah, I think they're going to come up on there for you. But how stunning is this fabric? It is so pretty. So we've kind of got a very pale ice blue sort of background, and then all these lovely lilacs and a kind of a turquoisey green, but they're so subtle. I'm just trying to see, I think they're coming up on camera pretty well. It's a bit dull on camera. It's just, oh, it went a bit dark, that's it. So let me see if I hold it back here. I think you can see those beautiful colours in that fabric. It really is stunning. Dawn has excelled herself once again. I love Dawn's fabrics. I've indulged in quite a few of them over the last year or so. So that was the fabric. Then my cotton was Snowflake from Wheats Dye Works, and again, I don't know if you can see, that's got some of the pink and sort of pale turquoisey tones in it. And then the silk is a Dinky Dyes called Pink Diamond. Really pretty shade of pink. Then, let's see, it was Cryonic. So this is a number 4 braid, which is the very fine, and this is number 1432. Very kind of pretty, pale, turquoisey, aqua, sparkly. We love a bit of sparkle. And then beautiful frosted beads from Mill Hill. And this is how it looks all together. I can juggle everything without dropping it all. There you go. So I'm going to find something lovely to do with that. I have no idea what yet. But we all like a bit of stash enhancement. So my stash has been well and truly enhanced with some beautiful fabrics once again. And I also have got some charts. So I have 4 charts which I got from a Facebook selling group. It's a cross stitch Friends Selling Group UK, something like that. Something like that. I'll find it and I'll post the link. So I got a couple of Tralala. So I got Souris Bobbine. Those little mice, I love them. Got Chasse à l'œuf, which is Egg Hunt. This is my first Samsara. I've never stitched a Samsara before. So Over the Hill, a Samsara. We love all things bees. And that little bird is just adorable. And then finally, keeping with my newfound love of cardinals, we've got Plum Street Samplers Goodbye Fall. And if you know of any lovely charts with cardinals on, please do let me know in the comments, because I need to hunt them out. I really, really have fallen in love with cardinals since doing 'Tis the Season. So please let me have your recommendations for gorgeous charts with cardinals in. This just arrived this morning in the post. This is the next one in the Cottage Garden Sampling Songbird series. So have faith. And those blues are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I've mentioned before that I am acquiring these charts as a series. I haven't started stitching them yet. And to be honest, I haven't decided what I'm going to do, whether to stitch them all as individual pieces or whether to stitch them on one big piece. And I also can't remember whether there are 10 or 12 in the series, so that may sort of influence. If there are 12, it's kind of easy to sort of think, oh, I can do 4x3 or whatever on one big piece. If there are 10, the layout becomes a little bit more tricky. I need to think about that. So anyway, I'm acquiring them. I know one of you lovely ladies, and I'm really sorry, I can't remember who it was now, said that she's also getting the charts, and we were talking about maybe doing a birdie stitch along later in the year. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and if you like these charts, it would be lovely to have you join us. But once I've got a little bit more organised, I know how many charts there are, and I've made some decisions and I finished some of my whips, then maybe, oh gosh, that's going to be like 2021, isn't it? Just, but anyway, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully we'll do a stitch along for that later in the year. What else did I get? Oh, a couple of charts from Etsy. So I bought these as PDF downloads. This was from Lolotta Shop, or Lolotta Shop on Etsy. Love peacocks. I have just about started a different peacock that you will have seen in my whip parade. Got about 10 stitches into it. Fell in love with that one, had to get it. I'll put the link underneath. And the next one in my Waxing Moon Designs monthly calendar. I'm just buying these and then I'll gradually get through them. So I've started January, but this one is May. So that's the next one that I needed to buy. So I'm just gradually acquiring those. Just gonna grab a drink. I've got my big spotty mug back again. Oh, I love this mug. For those of you that watch Michelle Bendy, have you seen how she has a different mug every time that she stitches? I don't know how many mugs that lady's got. Different mug every time, and you get the little story behind a mug, and I love that. She'll tell you where it came from or who gave it to her, and so nice, so nice. But seriously, Michelle, what a mug collection you've got. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes to see what I wanted to talk to you about. This one, I wanted to tell you about the piece that I stopped stitching on, and that was also the piece that I came back to stitching on. I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning, just in terms of triggers. So for any of you who may have struggled with with the whole having children thing. I'm just going to say it that way. Just possibly a little bit of a trigger for you. I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail, but just I want to be a bit sensitive here because it's not necessarily an easy subject to talk about. So anyway, this is the piece that I stopped stitching on and the piece that brought me back to stitching. I'll try and get it close for you. Sorry about the reflections on the glass. Is that a bit better? So this lovely Noah's Ark. So let me tell you the story behind this one. I started this piece at the end of 1997 when I found out I was pregnant for the first time. And this was going to be the piece that I was going to hang in the baby's nursery. And then sadly I lost that baby at the beginning of 1998. And I found out when I went for my 12-week scan that the baby had stopped growing at 8 weeks. And I had to have it surgically removed. And I stopped. I just stopped. I got pregnant again a little while later and picked this one up again and kind of renewed hope and all of those things. And I got quite a way through, and then sadly I lost that baby in the same way as I'd lost the first. And as you can imagine, that kind of threw my life into just turmoil. I went into a downward spiral. The really sad thing for me was that I lost the second baby on the day that the first baby would have been due. And then my gran died the day after. So it was a pretty dark time in my life. And that kind of threw me into a spiral of depression and just general struggling, and my life went pretty off track, if I'm honest, for quite some time afterwards. And I had ways of coping that were not very helpful, without wanting to go into a huge amount of details. I didn't cope well. Anyway, a few years passed and I was very fortunate to get pregnant for a third time with my lovely son Ben, who, as you all know, is going to be 18 at the end of this week. So it did have a happy ending for me, but I never got this piece finished for Ben because there was just too much stuff tangled up with it. So it was kind of hanging around, and I picked it up from time to time, but never ever really settled into it. And then back in 2016, I thought, do you know what? It's time. It's time to close the chapter. It's time to just finish it and move on and leave that behind you. Life was very different for me by then. I had been happily married to my second husband, Chris, for several years, and we'd had our daughter, and life was just really, really different, but I still felt I needed to finish this piece just to kind of, yeah, close the circle, if you like. So I finished it, I got it framed, and now I have no idea what to do with it. I don't have any babies anymore. I don't know anybody with any babies. But I finished it, and I fully finished it, and I closed the loop. So, you know, I'm open to suggestions, guys. What should I do with it? Let me know what you think. I needed to close the loop, and I've done what I needed to do for my healing. I'm really, really sorry if this has brought back unhappy memories for any of you, but you know, I thought it was important for me to kind of tell you why I came back to stitching. You know, I came back, I did this, and you know, I think I was just ready. And then I was able to kind of go on, and I did some, you know, I bought a couple of magazines and I did some stitches. So here's a happier story. Let me put that one down a minute. And I must pull these off the kids' walls and show you sometime. So later that year, I decided that I was going to cross stitch a piece for each of my kids for Christmas. So at that time, Ben was spending kind of half his time with us and half his time with his dad. Lila was, what was she, 7 or 8? 7, I think. So she was in bed by about 7:30. So I had time in the evenings. So I wanted them to be a surprise, and I wanted to do a piece for each of them. So Ben knew that I was doing a piece for Lila. Lila knew that I was doing a piece for Ben. Neither of them knew that they were getting a piece themselves. So it was really, really lovely for me on Christmas Day 2016, I think. Yeah, that would be right. To actually have a quiet moment with both of them at the end of the day and give them this special gift from their mum. And I gave them both at the same time and just watched their faces as they unwrapped them. So I did a unicorn for Lila. So there was an Ursula Michaels, I can't remember what it's called, but it was one of her kind of wordplay ones. And I did a Mini Cooper car for Ben with a Union flag on it. Excuse me, a bit sniffy. I think I might be getting Ben's cold. So that was a really sort of a lovely thing to do, and by then I was well and truly hooked back into stitching. And as I've already told you, 2017 was my kind of year of the crazy stitch along, and started all the things and didn't manage to finish very many. So yeah, that was really me well and truly back into stitching. Then I found Facebook, so Cross Stitch Addicts, a couple of other groups on Facebook, so the Mirabilia groups, and I learnt so much from those cross stitch groups. Then I found FlossTube, and I've learned even more, you know, and it's been amazing for me being able to watch FlossTube, and I've learned about all these designers that I never knew existed. I've, you know, all the amazing designers out there, the US designers, which they're just prolific, so many of them, and I love that sort of style. But then some of the European designers as well, and yeah, it's just like this whole huge, great big, the floodgates have opened for me, and all of a sudden, oh, I just found all these things that I never knew about. And you know, the last couple of years I've just been, oh, shiny chart, who would need that chart? So anyway, it's been a revelation for me. And I was actually just saying to my husband last night, I can't see a time now when I am not going to stitch. It really, I've had a difficult 2 or 3 years. My mum's been quite poorly with mental health issues, and I've been trying to make sure that she gets care and support, and trying to, you know, be there for her and myself with juggling work and everything. So, but stitching is a thing that has kept me sane. And I can't see a time, honestly, now when I won't stitch. And I've got so many beautiful things that I want to stitch. And I just feel so happy to have found my way back to this amazing hobby that we all enjoy. So that's a little bit about my story. Need to do my inspiration for the week for you. So, you know, I can't even remember where I found this from. I wrote it down earlier in the week, forgot to write down where I got it from, so I'm really sorry. But it was, those who watered will always be watered. So those who water will always be watered. I don't think I really need to say very much about that. You kind of know what that one means to you, but carry that one with you. Last video I asked you to help me choose which Alice chart I was going to start stitching next. So let me remind you of the 3 that I asked you to choose from. So there was this one by the Little Stitcher. I mean, they're all going to get stitched at some point, guys. It's just which one I'm going to start next. This one by Madame Chantilly. And let me take this out of the wrapper so you don't get the glare on it. This one by the Tra-La-La collection. And the winner is Tra-La-La! So this is going to be the one that I'm going to be starting next. I need to kit it up, so I've ordered the threads for it. There are lots of speciality threads. I mean, look at that thread list, seriously. The Atelier threads that are on there, I can't easily get hold of those. I would have to order them from Europe and pay a stupid amount of postage. So I looked online to try and find conversions. It seems they're not that well known a brand. So I've decided that I'm going to substitute those. So one of them is just the one that is used for like the white on Alice's apron and the clock and a couple of other bits. I have a Victoria Motto thread that I actually used for 'Tis the Season that I'm going to use for that. The other one is used for the rabbit, which is not a white rabbit. Anyway, so for the rabbit I ordered a couple of different options. I looked for a DMC conversion and the colour just looked really odd and not particularly what I would want to do a rabbit in. So I've ordered a couple of maybe Gentle Arts, I think, or Classic Colourworks, I can't remember. I ordered them a couple of days ago. So I'm going to have a look and see which one I like. And once I've made a final decision on my threads, then I'm going to go through my fabric stash and decide on a fabric. I am not going to use, they've got a very kind of pale neutral one here on the chart, that pale, because for me the white's not really popping and I really want to be able to see everything properly. So I might use, I'm thinking about like a green or something, but I'll see when I get the threads, see what I like the look of. But thank you all for helping me choose, and it was a lot of fun for me, just kind of going through counting up all the votes, and it was really, really close. At one point there was like one vote between them, so that was good fun. Thank you guys. Plans. I'm going on a stitchy retreat in just under 2 weeks time, so not this coming weekend but the weekend after. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a new retreat, so it's going to be, you know, a different group of people to the ones that I've been on retreat with before, which will be lovely. I know a couple of the people that are going to be there, but nearly everybody else is going to be somebody new for me to meet. It's in Southampton and I think we're right by the sea, so I'm hoping that wherever our stitchy room is, we're going to be able to look out and see the sea, which will be lovely. So Southampton is right on the very, very south coast of the UK, for those of you that don't know, kind of towards the middle at the bottom. So yeah, that's going to be great fun. I'm going on the train, which will be nice. I like going on the train. It's nice to just kind of be able to sit back and relax and let somebody else take the strain. So I'm looking forward to that. So what am I going to do at retreat and over the next couple of weeks? So let me show you what I have lined up. I've already said I'm going to start Harbour Haven. Oh, by the way, look at this fabby project bag with a lovely handle. So this is a giant project bag. This is for a 14 by 14 Q snap. It's made by Shell's Patch, and she does all the embroidery. It's like machine embroidery, but you can choose your colours. I've got cat hair on it, and then look, lovely lining. So a lovely project bag. But anyway, I am going to start Harbour Haven. So I have all my threads. I want to show you the picture a minute, if I can kind of get this to really, really small picture there at the top of the thing. So that's Harbour Haven. If you just search on Instagram Harbour Haven, it's H-A-R-B-O-R, so it's the American way of spelling harbour. You will find pictures of the finished pieces. They are, it's stunning. I can't wait to start it. And inspired by Jan Hicks, who was using the most beautiful hand-dyed fabric that she had no idea where it came from. I decided to dye my own fabric. So the story behind this, I had bought a piece of, I think it was like a vintage pale blue Swigot linen for this. So I'd ordered the cut that I needed, which was like 48 by 11. Here we go. And when it came, it was just a lot paler than I was expecting it to be. You can't even see that this is as wide as I can reach pretty much, this fabric, and you can't even you can't even see it all. Anyway, I ordered the fabric and it came and it was paler than I wanted, and then I saw Jan's beautiful, beautiful turquoise colour, and I was like, yes, that's what I want. So I thought, you know what, I can't really justify buying another piece of fabric, especially in such a big cut, and to order a hand dye piece of fabric in this sort of size, I thought that's just going to be prohibitively expensive. So I thought I'll have a go and see if I can dye my own. So I got a turquoise dye, a Dylon, I think. I thought I'll have a go. So this was kind of how my pale blue fabric has ended up. I tried to get it a little bit darker at the bottom, but you know, I think I would do a few things differently next time, but I'm pretty pleased with how this has come out. So that's my fabric anyway for Harbour Haven, and I cannot wait to get started on that. Really, really looking forward to it. So that's my big new start for the retreat, and I am not starting it till the retreat. Yeah, love that. What else am I going to do? I've kind of got a few options. So you've seen these before. I may do a bit more on my gingerbread village. I'm not pulling the whole bit out, but it would be quite nice just to get this one finished. And that's a nice one for retreat because there's lots of blocks of colours, and I may well sort of sit and do that one in the evenings, maybe when the light's not so good. It's nice to have a few different options for projects at retreat. I may just spend all my time on Harbour Haven, and I may not touch any of the others, but I have options if I feel like a change. If you know, if I'm struggling with whatever, or just feeling a bit fidgety, I have options. So there's that one, and I think I'm going to take January with me. So this was my Waxing Moon Designs project. So that's how far I've got. Let me show you the picture again. So that's January. So I think I'm going to take that one with me and try and make some progress on that. So our retreat is Friday kind of lunchtime-ish through to Sunday afternoon. So, you know, I could just stitch on one piece a day or something. We'll see, I've got options. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I'm feeling ready for a little bit of just holiday time, break time, just a bit of me time. I don't know if anybody else gets like this, but sometimes life just feels, just a bit overwhelming sometimes. It's like, I think there are so many demands on us, aren't there? Sometimes I just kind of feel a bit pulled in so many different directions all at once. It's like there's work, and there's mum, and there's kids, and there's husband, and there's the house, and you know, making sure everybody's got what they need to have, and everything. Just sometimes I feel a bit overwhelmed with it all. So just that kind of time to retreat from the world, just my soul good every once in a while, just that quiet time. So I am really looking forward to retreat. Can't wait. I think that's me about done. So thank you again for joining me. It's been really good to spend some time with you. And don't forget, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Bye.